preliminary purification. But to get to the real nectar, to get to the real high part of devotional service, one has to get beyond these regulative principles and get to the stage of spontaneous love. That's what this chapter is about. Sri Rupa Goswami has defined rāgānugā-bhakti as spontaneous attraction for something while completely absorbed in thoughts of it with an intense desire of love. Devotional service executed with such feelings of spontaneous love is called rāgānugā-bhakti. Devotional service under the heading of rāgānugā can be further divided into two categories. One category is called sensual attraction, and the other is called relationship. Okay? So let's look into this. Rāgānugā-bhakti is spontaneous attraction. Just like if you see a very beautiful person, you're spontaneously attracted. You don't require anyone to tell you, hey, you should be attracted to that person. You're spontaneously attracted. But who's the most beautiful person? Krishna. Krishna is so beautiful, once you see Krishna, you don't want to see anything else. Krishna is the source of the beauty of all other beautiful beings. So Krishna's beauty is beyond compare. Once you see Krishna's beauty, that's it. It's all over. You're spontaneously attracted. Because Krishna is so beautiful. Krishna's beauty isn't just the beauty of his form. It's also the beauty of his character, his attitudes, his activities, his relationships, and on and on and on and on. Krishna's personal... I mean, we've all met people who had a beautiful physical body, but who you wouldn't want to spend more than about 5 seconds with because their character is just so obnoxious and nasty. People who have beautiful physical bodies tend to be very proud. And this is a very unattractive quality. But Krishna, even though he's very, very beautiful, he still has all good personal qualities. We'll get into detailed understanding of Krishna's qualities later on in Nectar of Devotion. So anyway, once you contact Krishna, actually, you will feel spontaneous attraction. So, spontaneous attraction while completely absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. You see? Completely absorbed in thoughts. It's like, wow, Krishna. Oh, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But he's just so beautiful. Wow. Yeah, I just want to serve him. See? With an intense desire of love. I want to get close to this Krishna. See? This desire is the actual cause of advancement in devotional service. In fact, it's the only cause. The execution of the regulative principles is just preliminary because it's on the bodily platform. Try to understand. Yes, it's in the mode of goodness. Yes, it's very nice. Yes, it's absolutely required. But it will only get you up to a certain point. And you can't get beyond that point until you develop a desire to be with Krishna. That's a spiritual desire. That has to be, it cannot be developed in this material body. It has to be developed in our real body, our real self, based on our real identity, our real nature as spirit, soul, pure consciousness, servant of Krishna. Try to understand. The real desire comes from our real identity as servants of Krishna. So when we begin to desire to serve Krishna in a certain way, whatever that is, that's the actual beginning of our devotional service. And even if we desire to serve Krishna using our material body, That's, of course, better than not serving Krishna or to serve Maya, because we have to serve something. But the real advanced stage of devotional service is completely spiritual, completely internal, completely subjective, completely based on consciousness. It's not based on this body at all. Although we can practice for that, and we can develop the preliminary attitudes for that by bodily service like deity worship, still, the actual desire is transcendental. So, rāgānugā-bhakti can be further divided into two categories: sensual attraction and relationship. When we first come in contact with Krishna, we are attracted by his qualities, his beauty, his movements, and so many good qualities. So we're attracted. That's called sensual attraction. That's the preliminary stage. First there has to be attraction. And then when we actually engage with Krishna, that's called relationship. So there's the stage of attraction, which is preliminary, and then the stage of relationship, which is the actual exchange of service. In this connection, there is a statement by Narada Muni to Yudhishthira in the 7th canto, 1st chapter, verse 30 of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. There Narada says, "My dear king, there are many devotees who first become attracted to the personality of Godhead for purposes of sense gratification, from being envious of him, out of fear of him, or from desiring to associate affectionately with him. Ultimately, these attractions become freed from all material contamination, and gradually the worshipper develops spiritual love and achieves that ultimate goal of life desired by the pure devotees." Oh, that's such a nice quote. Well, we could talk on that quote all night. Well, I'm going to read it again. "My dear king, there are many devotees who first become attracted to the personality of Godhead for purposes of sense gratification, from being envious of him, out of fear of him, or from desiring to associate affectionately with him. Ultimately, these attractions become freed from all material contamination, and gradually the worshipper develops spiritual love and achieves that ultimate goal of life desired by the pure devotees." Wow. See, this is what Prabhupada was talking about. He was writing a letter to one of his disciples, and he says, "I've seen in the Western countries, especially, that people like to read many books, but they don't understand any of them." This Krishna consciousness is so nice because if you understand even one shloka, you can achieve perfection. So if you understand this one shloka, that's all you need to know. A whole lot of knowledge is not necessary. But deep knowledge, deep realized knowledge, realization is necessary. Realization, I was talking the other day to one of our new bhaktas. A realization means you have to go narrow, but very, very deep. You take one thing and you go deep, deep into it. And then that way you realize everything. In material life, the tendency is to go wide, but shallow. Try this, try that, look at this, read that, go look at all these different things, do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of something else. Hedge my bets. Oh, maybe this teaching isn't really it, so I'll try this teaching. I'll keep this one in the back just in case, No. That will not get you to self-realization. Self-realization means you pick one path, one teaching, one practice, and you go deep, deep, deep into it. That will get you to self-realization. The gopis may be considered to be examples of spontaneous love in sensual attraction. The gopis are young girls, and Krishna is a young boy. Superficially, it seems that the gopis are attracted to Krishna on grounds of sex. Similarly, King Kamsa was attracted to Krishna because of fear. Kamsa was always fearful of Krishna because it had been foretold that his sister's son, Krishna, would kill him. Shishupal was also always envious of Krishna, and the descendants of King Yadu, due to their family relationship with Krishna, were always thinking of him affectionately as one of their members. All of these different kinds of devotees have a spontaneous attraction for Krishna in different categories, and they achieve the same desired goal of life. Of course, it's much better to be thinking of Krishna positively, with love, than to be thinking of Krishna out of fear or anger or envy or any of these negative things.